Happy Saturday, everybody at Ruby Lane. We are here live at the Miniature Doll and Toy Show in Denver, Colorado. The show is sponsored by Ruby Lane, and everyone has their tote bags, and it's been so fun. And we are here right now with miniature artist Stan Gregg. And
hi, everybody.
yes, Stan, say hi to all of our Ruby Lane friends out there. So we have a really big treat for you. We are going to see some of Stan's artistry, his miniature artistry. Stan, let me ask you off the top, what is it about miniatures that excites you?
It's something about the detail in the work itself. It can take your mind to another place, a fantasy world.
You can be anything you want to be.
Anything I want to be.
That's
yeah.
so exciting. Okay, so I'm actually going to get behind the camera so everything can be on Stan and his amazing work. So tell us a little bit about what you do.
Well, this is one of my latest pieces here, and most all of my homes are made out of 100% either paper or cardboard. And this one is my paper house, which it has, of course, the water wheel. The miniature bricks, everything is made out of paper clay.
Wow.
Which I make my own individual stamp molds for them. I just try to get creative, and the process leads to new steps and techniques. And the roof on this one is actually cardboard instead of wood.
That's all cardboard.
It's a mixture of paper and wood, and then same as the interiors. You know, I don't usually finish the interiors, but I always furnish the interiors of the houses. So, and I keep my prices as low as I can so everybody can afford a miniature. Which I think my prices are pretty reasonable.
Wow, so this house sold right away?
Yes, it sold within the first 5 minutes of the show.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
We're showing our viewers. So if you are just tuning in, we are live with miniature artist Stan Gregg at the Ruby Lane sponsored miniature toy and doll show here in Denver, Colorado.
This house I'm probably the most proud
of.
It is a New York style grocery store, and I actually dedicated it to my mom, Mary, because she taught me to bake. And well, I turned this old grocery store, supposed, into a bakery. So the story goes behind it that the little old woman bought an old building in New York and is turning it into a bakery, and she lives upstairs in the motel.
Look at the detail. Can we just stop at this dumpster real quick?
And this dumpster I made out of just wood, and I have fun finding all the wood bits and pieces, same as the little wheels underneath the dumpster.
Yeah, put your hand back in there. If you're just tuning in, you can see this is the scale. This is how tiny this is. And all of this is made by hand by you.
Yes, and this one also is the paper clay on the outside for the bricks. I use a variety of wood for like this, to give the iron look for the fire escape.
And now we're going inside.
So this is the upstairs motel room.
Wow.
And then the little bakery down below that the store hasn't opened yet.
So your grandma really was a baker in New York?
Yes. No. I just dedicated it to
my
you
dedicated
mom.
it.
She taught me how to cook. And I love baking, and I cook like Martha Stewart, or try to. So, you know.
You're a very good cook.
Yes, I love adding the food into my homes.
Well, you obviously pay a lot of attention to detail. This looks just like, it looks real. It looks like we're standing there.
This was my first attempt at learning how to solder and do the wiring myself on this one to make more of the neon-looking sign for the front of the building. And there's a guy on, there's a men's group on Facebook for just miniatures, and he did a New York style setting, which I copied this from. He just did the shell of the facade, but I did the whole building.
Great.
He's been working on it months. I think this took me a week to build.
This took you a week to build?
Yeah. And then same as, this is my first cardboard house I did, and it's supposed to be a San Francisco style home.
Wow. It looks... Do you do a lot of research when it comes to...
No, I get inspired by just a little picture, and that picture can literally just turn into this. And that's the guy also on Facebook had posted this picture. He's been working on over a year to create something that's half the size of this, and I created this in about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. And all of these are on rotating platforms so that we can see the back.
Yes. And because this one was the week. Now this one, is, of course, it's lightweight because of the cardboard, but it's heavy-duty cardboard that I'm using. I'm getting from the hardware store. This is the inside of the San Francisco house.
The San Francisco house. The owner of Ruby Lane, Thomas Johnson, is from San Francisco. I know if he's tuning in right now, he is very much going to appreciate this San Francisco house. Wow.
And my next one, I've always wanted to go to England. So this is more of like an English countryside home that used to be an old barn that the pigs are still living in part of the house.
Look at those pigs. One of the things that we love about miniatures is that you can learn a lot about different cultures.
Yes.
And different ways that people live.
Oh, yes. And of course, and on the inside of this one, there's actually plastered walls inside. There's actually real wood beams in the rafters.
Wow. So if you're just tuning in live, we are here with miniature artist Stan Gregg, and he is showing us some of the wonderful houses and miniature scenes that he has built himself by hand, by scratch. And what scale would you say this is on?
1-inch scale.
1-inch scale.
And I try to fit a lot into a smaller home. People actually like my homes because they can pretty much fit anywhere in your house. They're not a full-size dollhouse, and they're lighter weight than most dollhouses. And this, I actually had a blast making this thatched roof because most people don't have realistic-looking thatched roofs. This was made out of fake animal fur, which then I glued it down and about 10 coats of Mod Podge on top to harden it up to make it rock hard. A lot of paint and a lot of greenery added to this one.
Now, how long did this one take you to make?
This one was quite a few weeks of work. Most average, I put about 40, maybe 60 hours into each home, so of labor.
What a labor of love. Now, your prices are extremely, extremely good because
this one's only $800 for the English barn. The San Francisco house is like $650, and that includes electrical, fully furnished, power boxes, everything comes with it.
So this is really fun for a lot of people because you get to be whatever you want. So if you lived in a New York style loft, but you always wanted a craftsman style house,
you can own that.
You can own that.
Yes. And say this is my a new recent one. It's my little castle house. It's called Castle in the Fall.
And I'm just getting close to you so I can hear you.
That's fine. So I got carried away on the fall theme, but I really like fall. It's one of my favorite times of year other than winter. And I had actually my first attempt at making my own light fixtures.
Let's bring our viewers inside. Look at these light fixtures. So how do you do the electrical?
The electrical, I hardwire everything. I don't like the tape that they use on standard dollhouses, on the electrical tape.
Just to show you guys for scale, that's my finger, and that is how small these things are.
So pretty much my hand will fit in the whole room.
Wow, look at that. Because if people are just tuning in right now, they're going to think we're actually in a real house.
Yes. And I try to make it feel homey. I try to make it feel like a real home.
With all the accessories. Look at that. Little cheese and grape platter.
And then which led me to, I can show you a magazine here. Sorry. The other year, a lady came up to the show and handed me this tiny little picture. The size, I mean, no bigger than like a couple fingers here. And she said, can you recreate this house out of paper? And so I recreated this house out of paper.
That's the house.
Which this Canada Dollhouse magazine saw my blog and said, we've got to feature this house in our magazine.
Oh, of course.
They
look at that,
it
and
in
you
the
did
magazine.
all of this.
Yes, and this living room is only about 6 inches by 6 inches.
Just beautiful. It looks like we're just looking right into country living right here.
And then it goes and shows the little attic room inside. And this house is only the size of a 12-pack of Pepsi.
A 12-pack of Pepsi. If you're tuning in, this is how small this house is, and these are all the little individual rooms that Stanley built.
So I was very proud of that.
You should be very proud of that.
Leads me to they saw my blog site where I show people to inspire them all the pictures of my houses.
What's your blog?
It is Gregg's Miniature Imagination. gregsminiature.blogspot.com.
Perfect.
Or, yeah, sorry, I apologize. Gregg's Miniature Imagination.blogspot.com, which led them to go onto my blog and find my next house, which they're going to feature in next month's magazine. This is called The Haunted Mansion.
The Haunted Mansion. Well, this is perfect in time for October. If you're tuning in, we are at the Ruby Lane sponsored miniature show in Denver with artist Stan Gregg, and he is showing us some of the exquisite miniature houses that he has built by hand.
And this is only my second one made out of 100% cardboard, which I have the dilapidated holes in the walls and the roof. And the interior, there's a story that the old man and old woman had died, and the relatives are moving in. They've just inherited the house. They're going through all the boxes and all this artwork and stuff, but it's being haunted by all the ghosts in the artwork from the previous family members.
How fun. Look at all of that.
Yeah, the interiors are probably my favorite part. I'm all about the exterior. I'm not into doing the wallpaper and things, but I'm more about doing the furniture and the decorations and adding the artwork and making it feel like a lived-in home. Using your imagination.
We did skip this.
Oh, I'm sorry. And this was my first attempt at making an adobe building, and it's turned into a Mexican restaurant.
How great.
Which I think it took me about 4 days maybe to lay each individual tile, which I on Pinterest, of course. I found pictures of little Mexican tiles, which I use Word a lot on my computer at home, and I shrink down the pictures, and I made my own tiles, and then I glue each tile down individually, which led me into
Mexican restaurant.
Mexican restaurant.
Wow,
That's
and they live
where
up top.
One of the little people sleep up top.
Look at this. This is a miniature Mexican restaurant, again on the 1-inch scale. What fun.
And I think my other truly favorite, because I'm into Christmas. I love decorating my whole house for Christmas.
We love Christmas.
At one time I had over 12 Christmas trees throughout my home, at the tallest 14 foot. But this is my glass dome Christmas house, which the dome does come off. The good thing about it is it never gets dusty inside. It's fully furnished, and this is very small.
Christmas all year. We're gonna try and get you up there as close as we can, Ruby Lane friends. Live at the miniature show here in Denver.
And now
That's wonderful.
not Catholic or anything or too religious, but one day I was inspired by a cross I found in the thrift store. I don't know if you can see it up there, clear up there on the wall. Here, let me tilt the house for you.
See if we can get in there. Okay, there it is.
And that little cross inspired me to build this little church and figure out how to build each of the pews and the Bibles and the hymn books. And this one sold the first 5 minutes of the show.
Well, it should have. What a challenge this is for you. Is it a challenge to say, I'm going to make a church today and figure out how to make authentic pews?
I'm not religious at all, so I had no idea about what to do. Then my religious family says, oh, you forgot the little panel behind where the books go behind the pews. And I said, oh, well, I've already built the pews, too late now. But, it was a learning progress. But I actually had a blast making the little books. I just find pictures on the internet, and I download them onto a Word document, shrink them down to the size I want, print them off, and make little books out of them.
And so that they actually have printing on the pages.
Yes.
Very, very, very cool.
Now, these are all my shotgun row houses, like you'd see maybe down in Louisiana, somewhere like that. These were all paper, of course, the paper shingles, but my paper clay when I'm using it is between 1/4 of an inch and 1/2 of an inch thick. So most of these houses will take maybe a month to dry.
A month to dry?
Yeah, before I can even start painting. So.
Should we walk behind them so we can see inside? Okay. So if you're tuning in, we are with artist Stan Gregg, and he is giving us a wonderful walk-around tour of his dollhouses and miniatures that he crafts by hand, and the accessories he also crafts by hand too.
Well, I buy most of these and throw them into the house. I want the people to have a fully furnished house.
Right.
I keep my prices dirt low so everybody can have a house. You know.
And the prices of the house come with the furnishing.
Yes. And for what a lot of people pay in the miniature world for a couple pieces of furniture, you can get my whole house fully furnished.
Just so you guys can see with the scale, there is a human hand, and that is how big these things are.
You have a tiny hand. Let me put my hand in there.
Oh, well, thank you for saying I have a tiny hand. That is so neat. So what did you call this row of houses?
These are the shotgun row houses.
Shotgun row houses.
I believe in, what is it, Louisiana, the shotgun houses where you can open the front door and shoot your shotgun and go straight out the back.
Oh, yes. Okay. We're just giving our viewers a peek inside here.
Yeah, and feel free going on my blog and looking around. I try to inspire everybody, and I try to keep up to date. I'm posting all the newest photos and pictures of what I've been working on recently.
How wonderful to share your craft with the world like you do.
It's like a permanent.
If you can, we have some people tuning in that are probably like, miniatures, I don't get it. What's the point? What's the deal? What can you tell us about the world of miniatures that inspires you?
It's inspirational. It gets your mind going to inspire other people, and then I literally don't sleep at night because my imagination's always going. It actually makes me feel young at heart. It's a craft. It's very addictive once you get into it, and to me, it's not about making the money. I am more than happy to give you a house for free, just to inspire somebody. You know, I love the miniature world.
We have people tuning in live right now. Sharon said, incredible. John said, I want one. People are asking us where you can purchase it. Well, you can purchase a lot of miniatures on Ruby Lane. You can also purchase Stan's miniatures through him.
Yeah, most of them sell right out.
At shows, yeah.
Yes.
You're
And
about sold out right here.
I only do the Denver show once a year, and that's the only time I do it. So.
Oh, well, that's great. Well, what a treat. We are so, so, so lucky. Oh, here's... Okay, Stan, so what's the takeaway that we can get from today?
For me, it's live to inspire. Inspire others, inspire them in what you're interested in, and pass it along.
I love it. Thank you for showing us this.
Oh, thank you.